Good evening and welcome to this episode of Word Wealth. We're studying on the subject of beginnings, and if you remember, in our last episode we filmed at the Person County Museum of History located in Roxboro, North Carolina. And Roxboro is my hometown, and we were there visiting my parents, getting a little rest and relaxation. And we decided that would be a fitting place to start this series. You can go there to the museum and you can learn about the beginnings of the county. You can learn about the beginnings of Roxboro and many fascinating facts. A lot of people didn't know that the very first mascot for Buster Brown's Shoes was right there from Roxboro, North Carolina. We also had a Major League Baseball star, Enos Slaughter. Played for the New York Yankees and played for the Cardinals too, I believe. But all these things you can learn about right there at that museum. You can learn about the beginnings of the town of Roxboro. And that's what we're studying today, not the beginnings of the town of Roxboro, but the very beginnings. And those can be found in the book of Genesis. And let's just get right into the Word. Genesis 1 says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." And the word created there is the ancient Hebrew word bara, which means to produce, to create, to form, to fashion. It kind of gives you the idea of an artist taking an old lump of clay and forming it into a masterpiece sculptor. You know, that can't just randomly happen by accident. It takes a lot of planning and skill and intelligence, and to do it from nothing. Well, that's what God did. So let's read a little bit about the account of the beginnings that we find here in Genesis. "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And then God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So evening and morning were the first day. Then God said, 'Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.' And thus God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And so the evening and the morning was the second day. And then God said, 'Let the waters under the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear.' And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw it, and it was good. Then God said, 'Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth.' And it was so. And the earth according to its kind, and the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seeds according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw it, and it was good. So evening and morning were the third day. Then God said, 'Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth.' And it was so. And then God made two lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And God said to them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And so the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And then God said, 'Let the waters around the earth with abundance of living creatures And let the birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. And so God created sea creatures of every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. So evening and the morning were the 5th day. Then God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind, and it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the sea, over the fish, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Wow, what a wonderful account of the beginnings of our life, the beginnings of our planet, the beginnings of all things. God is concerned about the environment. He's concerned about the sky, the ocean, the earth, grass, trees, fruits, birds, fish, cattle, over every animal. They are all His creation, and He created them for a purpose. I get angry when I hear people say that, it disturbs me to see some of the things that are taking place in our world today. Cruelty to animals. See our mountains, the beautiful mountains around Asheville here, being stripped away. Just up above us here, they're building a big resort area and a golf course, and they're tearing up a mountain to do it. It's a shame. When God originally created the earth and the animals, and everything was ecologically sound and it was balanced, there was no pollution, there were no environmental toxins. And at the end of chapter 1 there in verse 25 we read, And God saw it and it was good. This reflects God's view of the environment as He originally created it. Air and water pollution and other negative environmental problems were not intended by God. God created a perfect paradise. He created a perfect paradise for man to live in. But it's man's sin that brought a curse on the earth. And it became subjected. It became corrupted as a result of the sin. And thus began the environmental decay. You see, to understand God as Creator, we first need to understand that only He has self-existence, whereas we are all created beings. God created all living things, including plants and animals and mankind, and He gave them the ability to reproduce. And when we understand that we are creatures created by a Creator, we then understand that we are ultimately accountable to that Creator. We are accountable for the things that we do to His creation. We are accountable for the pollution. We are accountable for the sin in our lives. The main reason that some people claim to be atheists is that to admit the existence of a creator would force them to admit their accountability to someone greater than themselves. You see, understanding and acknowledging that we are creatures ultimately responsible to a creator is what enables us to truly understand what it means to be able to reproduce only after our own kind. In other words, we can reproduce only what we are. It's vital. Therefore, it's vital that we pursue Christ likeness in our character. We were formed in His image, a spirit being living inside this fleshly body, created in His image, so that we will be able to reproduce that same quality in others. To understand and appreciate God as Creator properly, we must also understand that as a loving Creator, God's nature is to provide for His creation. In fact, God reveals Himself very early in the creation story as Yahweh Yah, the Lord will provide. Grasping that truth simply establishes a relationship between Creator and creature based on accountability, based on love, and based on complete trust. You think about that. Goodbye.